Think about how different your life would be if things stopped bothering you so much. A stranger's comment, the morning traffic, the unpleasant person, that criticism that spun in your head for hours. Imagine being able to go through all of that while keeping calm, without anything managing to steal your peace. It is not an impossible dream, nor a matter of having a special character. It is a skill, and the ancient Stoics mastered it until they turned it into an art. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire amid betrayals and wars. Seneca knew exile. Epictetus was born a slave, and even so they reached a serenity that the outer world could not touch. Not because they did not feel, but because they learned not to let everything disturb them. They discovered that almost everything that bothers us has far more to do with our mind than with what happens outside. In this video, you are going to discover 6 keys to make it so that nothing and no one bothers you the way they did before. You will learn not to let words wound you, to release what you do not control, and to choose what truly deserves your reaction. Not to become cold, but to become free and unshakable. Stay to the end, because the last key changes everything. Let us begin. The first key so that nothing bothers you is to understand that it is not things that bother you, but what you think of them. This is the idea that holds up all of Stoicism, and Epictetus engraved it forever. We are not disturbed by facts, but by the judgments we make about facts. Think about it. The same comment can ruin one person's day and leave another indifferent. The difference is not in the comment, but in the story each one tells themselves about it. When something bothers you, it is not the event itself. It is the interpretation your mind adds to it. This is unfair. This should not happen to me. They are disrespecting me. And here is the great news. If your judgment creates the annoyance, then by changing the judgment you can dissolve it. You cannot always choose what happens, but you can almost always revise what you tell yourself about it. The next time something irritates you, instead of reacting to your first interpretation, stop and ask yourself, is this really so serious? Or am I telling it to myself in the worst possible way? By questioning the judgment, you disarm the annoyance at its root. Most of the things that bother us only have the power we give them with our mind. The second key is to understand that no one can offend you without your permission. It sounds strong, but it is one of the most freeing truths of Stoicism. When someone insults or criticizes you, what that person does is throw some words into the air. Those words have no power until you decide to pick them up, believe them, and let them wound you. The offense is not in what the other says, it is in how you receive it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the harm is not in another's action, but in your opinion of it, and that if you decide not to feel harmed, you are not. Think of someone who insults you in a language you do not understand. It does not affect you at all, because you give it no meaning. Offense always needs your collaboration. This does not mean you should tolerate mistreatment or stay silent before injustice. It means that your inner peace does not have to depend on what anyone decides to say. When someone tries to offend you, remember that you have the last word on whether it touches you or not. You can choose not to pick up the insult, to let it pass by like the wind passes. The next time someone tries to hurt you with words, simply do not accept the offense. Without your permission, it has no power. The third key so that nothing bothers you is to adjust your expectations of people. A large part of our daily annoyances are born from expecting others to behave as we would like, and from being surprised and angered when they do not. We expect everyone to be kind, fair, grateful, and considerate, and every time someone is selfish or inconsiderate, our blood boils. But people do not act according to your expectations. They act according to their own nature, their fears, and their wounds. Marcus Aurelius had a brilliant exercise for this. Each morning he told himself that that day he would meet ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, and unpleasant people. Not to become pessimistic, but so as not to be surprised when it happened. Whoever expects the day to be perfect and people flawless lives in constant disappointment. Whoever knows in advance that there will be difficulties and difficult people faces them calmly, because they already counted on them. This is not expecting the worst of everyone or becoming cynical. It is being realistic instead of naive. When you stop demanding that the world and people be as you want, and you accept them as they are, an enormous amount of annoyance simply disappears. Expect less, and almost everything will stop bothering you. What you already took for granted cannot catch you by surprise. The fourth key, so that nothing bothers you, is to release everything that is not in your hands. If you stop to think about it, almost everything that bothers you throughout the day are things over which you have no control. Traffic, the supermarket line, the weather, what someone said, what another did, a delay, bad news. You get angry, frustrated, bitter, and yet none of that changes one bit no matter how much it bothers you. You only manage to ruin the moment. The Stoics focused all their energy on a single distinction: what depends on me and what does not. On the first, they acted. On the second, they released it calmly. When something bothers you, ask yourself the key question: this that irritates me, is it in my hands to change it? If the answer is yes, then stop complaining and act. And if the answer is no, then being bothered is pure waste, because your anger will not move by a millimeter what is already outside your control. It is like getting angry because it rains. The rain will go on, and you will only have made yourself bitter. To release what you do not control is not resignation. It is intelligence. It is ceasing to waste your peace on battles impossible to win. Save your energy for what you can change, and let the rest go. There lives most of your tranquility. The fifth key so that nothing bothers you is to change perspective, to look at things from above. When something bothers us, we live it as if it were enormous. That comment, that setback, that argument fill the entire space of our mind. But that is an illusion. We are too close to the problem. The Stoics practiced a mental exercise they called the view from above. Marcus Aurelius, who ruled an empire, forced himself to imagine the whole world from on high, the cities, the crowds, the generations that come and go, and to see himself as a tiny point in the immensity of time and space. By doing so, his problems did not disappear, but they recovered their real size. Try it when something bothers you. Imagine you rise above the situation, above your city, until you see the whole earth floating in space. From there, look at that which so irritated you. How big is it now? Almost always it shrinks until it becomes insignificant. Most of the things that bother us are enormous only because we look at them an inch from our face. When you take distance, the universe reminds you how brief and small almost everything is, and in that perspective, the annoyance dissolves on its own. Lift your gaze, and you will see how little it truly mattered. The sixth and final key so that nothing bothers you is to learn to choose your battles and ignore the noise. Not everything deserves your reaction, your energy, or your time. Many people live hooking onto every provocation, responding to every criticism, entering every argument, and that is why they live permanently agitated, exhausted by 1,000 battles that were worth nothing. The one who has reached true serenity knows how to tell apart what truly matters from what is only noise. And almost everything that bothers us daily is noise, comments from people whose opinion should not weigh on us, small disrespects from strangers, provocations that seek precisely our reaction. To respond to all of that is to hand your peace to anyone who wants to take it from you. The Stoics chose carefully where they placed their attention and their energy. Before most annoyances, they simply did not enter the game. They let them pass like someone ignoring a dog barking in the distance. Not out of weakness, but out of wisdom, because they knew that their tranquility was worth more than the pleasure of being right in a senseless fight. Ask yourself before each annoyance, does this truly deserve my reaction? Most of the time the answer is no. Save your energy for what truly matters, and let the rest pass by. The one who chooses their battles and ignores the noise becomes, at last, unshakable. We have walked through the 6 keys so that nothing and no one bothers you together. Remember that it is not the fact but your judgment, that no one offends you without your permission. Expect less of people, release what you do not control, look at things from above, and choose your battles well. If you notice, they all point to the same truth, that the power over what bothers you is not outside, in the world or in others, but inside, in your own mind. You cannot control what happens or how people act, but you can always decide how much of it you let in and how much you let affect you. That is the deepest freedom there is, that of not being at the mercy of everything that happens around you. It is not achieved in a day, it is a practice, just as it was for the ancient Stoics. But every time you apply one of these keys, you become a little more immune to the noise of the world. Start today with just one. The next time something bothers you, stop, breathe, and ask whether it truly deserves to steal your peace. It almost never deserves it. If this video helped you, give it a like and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom every night. And remember, nothing has more power over you than what you grant it. Do not give it. See you in the next one. Take care.